Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? This is Coach's Talk. This is your boy, Coach Ricks. That's the co-host, Mr. Bishop Franks. This is Coach's Talk, man, where we discuss all things OU related, college football related, all things in between. Before we get started, guys, please hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button, man. Like the videos, man, and ring that bell so you won't miss any content that we got going forward. As you can see, man, wonderful Sunday, a day after, what you want to call it? What, a good fourth weekend? Everybody after getting the good barbecue, doing the fireworks and everything. Hopefully everybody was safe over the weekend. Sure. Bishop, how was your weekend, my man?
Oh, excellent. A great weekend.
That's good, man. That's good. Hey, we want to jump on here, man, try to tackle a few topics before we get ready for the weekend, man. I think there were some things that were said on a few podcasts, man, that I wrote down that I wanted to jump on to try to clarify a few things. There were some things said about John Mateer, man, that I'm not okay with. There were some things that were said about Jim Nagy that I'm not okay with. I think they're not used to change. They don't want to accept change. They don't want to accept it. This is the new norm now. This is the way things are going to go now. And if you're not willing to, I guess, adapt to it and accept change, you're going to be left behind. And I think that's one of the main reasons why Nick Saban decided to walk away and everything, man, because when you are a guy and everything, man, that's used to things,
I agree.
That's used to things going a certain way, you don't accept change. And I think a lot of these people right now, man, they are feeling that it's not working. Jim Nagy's system is not working. You got to at least have a season. What's going on, Dwayne? What's going on, big dog?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? What's happening?
What's up?
Not much, man.
Of course, I'm working.
Hey, man, they make that money. I'm
Go
never gonna say.
I'm trying, but look, I want to tell you, I ordered me one of the replica OKC Larry O'Brien trophies and all that, so I had to do it.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
there you go.
I was gonna say something, man, but Keontae, he's in Denver right now, and he's working out in the summer league. So I think he's might be getting a contract and everything in Denver. Right. So we'll see how things go and everything, man. But I tell people all the time, man, I would love to get one of those replicas. Being a former old Oklahoma kid, I would love to get one, man, that put somewhere back here with the rest of the trophies and everything, man, just to have it.
That'll work.
You can, coach. You can, coach. It's on Fanatics.
Okay.
It's on Fanatics. I know I got one. It was $99, but then you can put the code in and get it for $69. You can get one.
Okay. Yeah. We need to get one of those, Bishop. We need to get one for the show, man.
You got to say it. Look. I put on Facebook earlier. I said, you know what? I said, this is something. This is amazing for someone, for a person growing up in Oklahoma and never would have thought that we got the Thunder, but let alone win the NBA championship, bro. That right there, and I'm gonna still get that in, coach, right there.
Hey, there you go.
I ain't never had one, but I'm gonna get it.
Hey, man, we got a few. I got a few. When we was in the service, we all got tattoos. My whole unit when we was in the service and everything, man. So I got one, and that was a shocker for me. Everybody was like, man, I don't like ink. But at the same point in time and everything, man, it is what it is. When all the guys want to do the same thing, man, the brotherhood, you do it and everything. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wouldn't get another one, but
yeah,
I just that's just me.
My first, I've always said I really didn't want to do it, but I said, you know what, this one time I'll go ahead and do it. I've always said, if Oklahoma Sooners, Dallas Cowboys, well, we're not gonna talk about them. We'll just say the Thunder. If they ever win the championship, I'm gonna get it put on there. I got to represent. And hey, and then I said another one. How I'm gonna do it is probably get the Thunder symbol. Then I'm gonna get the state of Oklahoma around it. Then I have something in the out inline is OU DNA.
Okay. Oh man, hey, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I
But
wouldn't
hey,
include little brother though. I wouldn't include little brother. No, heck no,
oh
no.
no, man. Yeah, I think and everything, man. They are the exception to the rule. You leave them out and everything.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're talking about today, man. The way people feel like Jim Nagy. Some people think that Jim Nagy is hurting the recruiting process in Oklahoma. And I think that they don't understand that this is the new norm. This is the new change now that's going to be over all football landscape, not just Oklahoma. And I think that's why your Nick Sabans and your Dabos and all those guys, they were against NIL or kids getting paid and everything, because now you can't hold that carrot over their head no more and say, you come here and do this. The NFL is the next step. Well, now you got kids making NFL money in college now.
Yeah,
So yeah, go
I,
ahead.
I, I agree with it. I was kind of skeptical myself. I was one of the ones that was skeptical because to say that Coach Venables was saying he was protecting the state, keeping the fence around the state. And the reason why I say that is because as I text on the Hall of Fame show last night, I just wanted them to. What about the Oklahoma players? They don't really have. They just really don't have any Oklahoma recruits this recruiting cycle. And to me, that's crazy to me. I mean,
But you know why, Dwayne? They're okay. I'm gonna try to make this, and I know you know. At some point in time and everything, let's just use Charlotte here. I can use Charlotte because we have so many schools here, but they are zoned out. But let's just say if I was at North Carolina and I
mhm,
want to keep that umbrella around North Carolina,
right,
it's easy to do that when you have 13 or 14 guys coming out at one time,
right,
and out of all the high schools that's here in North Carolina.
Yeah,
If I go after all 13 of those guys and I get all 13 of those guys, now, yes, I have that umbrella, I have that blanket around North Carolina. But then what about South Carolina? What about Florida? What about, the area? I have eliminated myself from getting other talent that is either better or close to what I'm getting right now in North Carolina. I think what BB did was there wasn't that much talent coming out this year.
mhm.
Next year, they got 10 or 12, probably 13 kids coming out of Oklahoma that not just Oklahoma wants, everybody wants.
Okay,
So you take that 1 year of Mulligan and you let OKC eat a little bit this year, and then you go get all 13 of those kids next year, it will pretty much work in your favor getting all 13 kids that other programs like your Alabamas, your Ohio States, and your Michigans, all those people want. That's what
okay,
it was. It
I see
wasn't
you.
just that they didn't get it. They just didn't have, there wasn't enough talent
Okay,
that they
okay,
needed. And plus, when you got all those guys coming back from last year,
right.
that's what I
you
was gonna say.
you
Yeah,
you keep those guys for one more year, and then you go for those 13 other kids next year.
Yeah,
correct.
I think that's what the Hall of Fame was saying last night. He was saying that you know, he that, he said, don't worry about it. It's not a big old thing. But he said next year, when the next recruiting cycle is going to be, they're going to have a lot more Oklahoma kids. I mean,
Yeah,
I just maybe took it as a slight because, we Oklahoma, Norman,
yeah,
big school.
yeah,
Everybody wants to go to Norman. But again, it's like down here in Louisiana. You know, they want to go to LSU and all this kind of stuff. And hey, I understand it. But at the
Right.
same time, a Oklahoma kid growing up in Oklahoma, what's the first place you want to go? You want to go to OU. Don't want to go. I mean, I remember graduating high school. My 11th grade year, they sending me that garbage about Oklahoma State. I tossed that stuff in the trash.
yeah.
I wasn't fortunate enough to get the OU offer. But hey, I can understand that. I think Nick is doing a good job. I just think I wonder did him and as far as the David Stone thing, I'm not trying to rehash it. I hope he sat down with Jim Nagy about what he needs, what he wants, and what we can and what we cannot do because that fiasco with David Stone that can't ever happen again. I mean, that's just like with Jaden O'Neal. That kind of stuff cannot happen again. That can't because too many kids
Right.
are watching this situation.
Yeah,
But that
and that's what I wanted to piggyback is like especially the David Stone work with is this understanding that when you were paying them, you didn't have no set standard. Now that we sort of have a framing or a blueprint and we know the lay of the land, now we got to make sure that none of the money that we do play sits on the sideline and that is actually an activity. So what it does, it's almost like balancing a budget.
Right.
So that's where we're at in the deal. Go ahead.
oh
Yeah.
no, go ahead. I was talking to the wife. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but no, it's like balancing the budget. But understand, check this out. Let's say, for instance, let's use Felix Ojo. He's the most recent commit. Are you going to pay 5.1 billion for one player of that equivalency, or get 2 to 3 for that same amount of money?
Right. That's it.
You
Here's
see
my
what
thing
I'm
on
saying? And
here's my
so
here's my thing on
it,
that.
I call it opportunity cost, but it's also making sure that the players that you recruited, you make sure they of equivalent value. So when he's saying that, he's not saying that I'm not gonna get the 5 star. It's just like, let's say for instance, we got someone of that, but the money's gonna be in, let's just say 4 to 5 million, and you got 2 to 3 of these other ones that's of equivalent value, but that you've been recruiting, and you think they're on that type of level.
Right.
Why
Right.
go
Yeah.
for the other one when you have 2 to 3 others that together you can get for that same type of money? So that's where we're at in collegiate, is being able to manage your money.
Well, here's my thing on that as well. Have you guys watched the documentary on Netflix about Shaq and Reebok?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I need, I
yeah,
need to go check that out. It's talking about the NIL. It's talking about the structure of why you shouldn't pay kids that type of money so soon because you're instilling that if I give you this much money, you can come in here and be the savior for this program. Cool. Well, what if that player doesn't come in and be the savior of that program?
Hmm.
Now you have labeled him a failure, but you paid him all this money. And now, after all that money, that's all he gets. Nope, he's pretty much blackballed. He didn't pan out. And we live in a world right now, man, is that word of mouth, social media, it can destroy a legacy before they even get started. If
I
you
agree.
should, I think you should go watch that, man, because Shaq is the most coolest dude, man. I just went out and bought me a pair of Reeboks. I'm gonna go out and buy me a pair of. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna go out and buy me a pair of Reeboks because I didn't know that Shaq bought Reebok
Oh yeah.
and Allen
He did.
Iverson is the vice president. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he did. He bought them. He bought. He has. I think he has. He has Reebok. He owns the Marilyn Monroe likeness.
Yeah, he owns
He owns some
Forever
stuff.
21 and all that.
Yeah.
My point is this: he said the reason why he told his son not to take NIL is because when you take NIL money, you feel like you made it. I made it. I ain't got to work hard no more. I ain't got to grind no more. I ain't got to do this no more. And I think, man, it's true to a point. But like one guy said, he took the money because his mom was eating Roman noodles. His dad was eating Roman noodles and everything. He was like, to be able to put food on my mom and dad's table was my motivation. I can't get mad at that kid. I cannot
Right.
get mad at that kid if that's what your motivation is. But if
correct.
you have not seen that, man, on Netflix, man, go check that out, man. I thought that was perfectly put. I think that the message that they're sending is NIL is okay, but let's not let NIL be the driving point.
Right.
And that's why it's so important that we also educate them so that they understand why everything is structured the way it is, so they have a better understanding.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, hey, it's Jimmy's turn. Jimmy, if you want to jump in, send me your email. I'll let you jump in. Whoever wants to jump in today, we're gonna let somebody else jump in today to talk this and everything, man. Because we got a few more things we're gonna talk about. But Mike, not Mike, Dwayne, let me ask you a question. I wanted to ask you this because we jumped on the Sark thing last week. I saw something today, and I wanted to get you and Bishop's opinion. Someone said the temperature in Oklahoma is lukewarm when it comes to Jim Nagy. Is that something that we should be worried about, or do people just not understand the new way of how things are going to be evaluated here?
Man, this is first year. I mean, man, they
They
had
didn't,
it.
they didn't play yet.
You know, man. Let me guess. That must have been from a Shorthorn fan.
No. Trust me,
Oh,
if you go on the media sites, dude, it's OU fans. OU fans are tripping because they feel like Oklahoma is not getting the top players.
you know what? I think it's because they see a lot of players not committing. That's what I think. They're seeing not a lot of players. That's what I thought initially. I'm like, why are we not getting these players? But then again, like you said, you know, they're paying, they're doing different things different to set a foundation. Like Bishop said, they set
Absolutely.
a foundation. And then from that point, they can build up. And, hey, it was hard for me to understand. But then at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense because if we don't get Oklahoma players this year, and I'm thinking, okay, and like Hall of Fame said last night, he said, well, next year they're gonna have the pick of the litter. Okay, now I understand. Now I see what's going on because at the end of the day, you got all these kids that are coming up, and if they're any good, they're gonna want these bags of money, which is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's like he's going through the process of laying a foundation. Okay, well, you want 5.5. Well, hey, you're Oklahoma kid and you're a 5 star. You're not worth 5.5. We're looking at more or less like 1.2. I mean, just throwing a number just to give an example. But Jim, he's doing his job. I think he's doing his job. I would hope that him and Brent Venables have a good working relationship where they can sit down and talk and discuss about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think
And,
you
and
hit
I
it on the
also,
head.
yeah, I just think that for a lot of them, this is so brand new, and they're so used to the old structure, and couple that with seeing some commits that we were high on, not choosing other places, but we got to ask ourselves, why did they choose other places? Well, of course, the money was the NIL, and the package was much stronger elsewhere. Well, understand, you don't want to overpay for anybody because you
Exactly.
already got a strong nucleus already, and so there's opportunity cost. But everybody learning curve. Everybody learns at a different curve.
Yeah. Well, how can I put this and it makes sense? Is that he's trying to get everybody to understand you're not going to be worth that $5 million. You might be worth it, but we're not going to pay that just
Right.
to get you to come here. And then let's just say we've all seen it. You might not pan out. And now we've given you that money and you don't pan out. We're not saying that you're not good. We're just saying is that this is a business now.
Exactly.
It's a business now. It needs to be a business decision. I'm not just going to go and throw money at you to get you to come here. That's what Tennessee did, and look what they're in right now with Nico. We're not going to give you money like they did Najee Kennedy and everything. Even though she made it there, they invested so much money in her that when she needed a break, she couldn't get it because there was nobody else there.
Yeah,
So
that goes back to coaching. Coach, I mean,
yeah,
as she would have came on this side of the fence, she would have had rest. She could have did what she needed to do. But
what
again, she chose that bag, and
Shaq,
I respect. I
hey,
understand it.
hey, Shaq said the best line I've ever heard in my life, and I'm going to use it from now on. What are you after? Legacy or money?
Yeah,
And I was like, oh shit, that's perfect. What are you after? Are you after? My thing is this: I need for my name to mean something. I need for my name when you say Willie or Coach Ricks or whatever, I need for that name to be, oh man, he was a gentleman. He was a down to earth guy, man. He was open and honest, man. That's a dude. I don't want to be, well, you pay him the right money, you'll get what you get. I don't
Right.
want that to be the case. And I think Nagy is setting a precedence that, hey, going forward, we're going to evaluate you and we're going to pay you what we feel like you're worth. And if you're good with that, cool. If you're not, thank you, young man, for coming out and trying out. We're going to go a different avenue. But let's say this works. Let's say this works. And the 3 stars are built up and they're being trained and they're being coached up the right way. And then we start winning. Now you can go for those 3 and 4 stars and coach them up, and you ain't got to pay that big money to get those
Right.
players here.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, you know what? I never would have thought NIL would get out of control. I mean, hey, I've always been for the athletes getting paid because I've heard stories about athletes, have to sneak food, steal stuff, steal food to get to eat, and sleeping in cars and all this. I mean, the NCAA was horrible. I mean, as far as that, they always talk about, well, you got a stipend and this, that, and the third, and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we're talking the quality of life.
Yeah.
Okay, at that time, the schools and stuff, they were getting paid. They were making money off students back, football players back, basketball players back, baseball, whatever, whatnot, or whatever. And them kids were literally needed, and all they was getting a scholarship and a stipend. I don't know how much that was at the time, but at the end of the day, those kids need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, when they won that lawsuit, I never would have thought that. I mean, I just thought, well, man, it's over for regular sports. It's just out of control now. But like you always say, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Do you guys agree with this comment by TP Grill? Give a person enough money and he will buy a legacy. I don't think I don't think you can
Take
buy
that
a
with
legacy.
Yeah, you know what? That could be true if you have the right foundation, meaning the right upbringing. But not everybody has the same upbringing, so it can mean different things for different people. So once again, we're going back to what is their foundation. Because understand the way Nagy is going to run it, he's going to have a base plus sniping where he'll have certain goals to where they'll earn more than what they was asking for, but it's one of those base plus. So that way you don't give it all up front, but you gotta put some skin in the game, which I like. Give me an opportunity. Hey, I got a base, but then I know I got my goals and the achievable goals. Then let's go get it.
So
If
I agree with you with that. And I think also me personally, I look at it as character. What type of character do you bring?
thank
First of
you,
all, like you said,
thank you.
what's your foundation? Just like you said, Bishop. What type of home did you come from? Then the character. I had to go pay a bill at a store the other day, and this guy, he was pretty upset, and I asked a question to the store manager. I said, "Well, okay." She said that the room was out of order. I said, "Okay." I said, "Do you know when?" I said, "This is something that shouldn't be like this. Is ridiculous." And so this guy he kept going on. He was upset, and I said, "Brother," I said, "But look," I said, "You know what? Because I had asked the guy, he could, he said that the manager jumped in and did whatever." And I said, I said, "Okay," but the guy was mad because he said, "Well, what do you think? Why do you think he did?" I said, "First, brother," I said, "First, we have to look at it as far as authority. We can't just negate the fact that if this man was about to answer the question, the manager stepped in to answer the question. Okay, that's authority, character. We're talking character at the end of the day, right, Bishop? We're talking character. At the end of the day, you have to be a man of good character and high character. You know, you have to be able to do what's right with what we're asking of you and all this kind of stuff to get what you need. Now,
Yeah,
if it takes to get a guy that's a 2-star, 3-star to get what we to get the best value for the buck, well then, hey, I'm all for it. I mean, if you can get that player and then they go have an amazing career and then they go to the NFL and do whatever they do, that's fine. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, we have to look at it, you know, from that point of view. We're talking about character, quality, and like that's what the soul mission was about, correct? We have to look at the
yes.
soul mission. If the soul mission is there, you know, it's there to build men. We're talking men with character. So at the end of the day, we have to look at it as such.
Yeah, and I think we're ahead of the curve if people just allow the whole system to finally connect. They got to work out the bugs because it's brand new. So that you just got to have patience. And plus, coming off the season we're all annexed alpha after last season. So I can get the Nace.
TP, I have to disagree with this one. Sports has changed. You can no longer take advantage of talented young men without giving them money for their natural resource, their hard-earned talent. Okay, their hard-earned talent was in high school.
Right.
Okay, high school and college are two different beasts.
Exactly.
So I'm giving you money on the potential of what you might be, but I'm not going to throw the whole Brink truck at you just to get you to my campus to find out what type of talent you have. Now, it has to be something structured from the NCAA or whoever or whatever governing body that comes. I believe what we said last night on Jason's show was true. There need to be a set amount what freshmen can make coming into college. That
I
is a
agree.
base. That is a base salary. That this is what you're going to get just because you made it here. Made it here. Not anything with what you did. Just making it here. Now, once you get here, that's when your name, image, and likeness should kick in, because
Right.
your name don't mean shit if you ain't here. Your image, you don't have it until you get here. Your likeness is what you do on the field. So
Right.
we got to start putting these things in perspective when we start saying name, image, and likeness. If not, let's just say we're giving you the bag just to come here.
Exactly.
Let's not
And
use
it's just
NIL. Okay.
and like you said, again, like he's the way he's saying, it's like it's still at the end of the day, it's still character. It's you know, you gonna find. I mean, if this guy Nagy, he just found some gems. Am I correct? He found gems
Yes.
and stuff. So I mean,
Yep.
if he's doing that, he's found value guys. I mean, why do you think that guy? What's the running back name?
Yes.
I mean, he could have went anywhere else and got a bag, but guess what? He came. He wanted to come to Oklahoma. So I don't know how much he got. Even look at Matias. Miami wanted him. All of man, they came to Oklahoma. So I mean, it's man, you can find people of good high moral character that wants to come to Oklahoma, that wants to do and play and do the right thing. And when he does that, and you know, whenever we win the championship, whenever that may be, y'all can promise you everybody gonna start wanting to come here. But guess what? They're gonna want the bag, they're not gonna get it. That's just the way that it is.
Also, too, can you imagine what Oklahoma? We all know that Oklahoma is the winningest program since 2000. They're the winningest program. So sometimes, man, that means something to these people when they start thinking about where do I want to go, what legacy do I want to leave, and I think a lot of people buy into what BB has, buy into what Bates has, buy into what Arbuckle has, and that's why we've gotten all these great players this season
Fact.
because everybody is buying in for this year. I
Hmm.
think this is the first time Oklahoma has had this much depth at the defensive side and offensive side.
Right.
And let's not talk about the coaches. The coaches, you brought in so many coaches just to be analysts that you got to acknowledge what Oklahoma is doing. And I think a lot of people don't want this to work out because if it works out for Oklahoma, can you imagine what other programs is going to start to do the same thing OU's doing? And
Exactly.
now it's going to put a wrinkle in all this money given. Now I ain't gotta go get 9 or 10 5-stars. I can go get 24, 3 or 4 stars and get the same work out of them and get the potential of getting 4 or 5 gems out of them.
Oh yeah, and the thing about it is, it's like when they started even when Josie was talking about all this, trying to get all this, and when Nagy came on, it's like now there was a shift. Now they're trying to get ex NFL players to be general managers and all this kind of stuff. Oklahoma was already, I think Oklahoma was a year in already trying to
Mhm.
get this stuff done. So I mean, it's like they've already set the curve, and by that price, it's gonna, we're gonna be
Now
ahead.
you talking. Now you talking.
Hold on.
Hey,
TP, what are you talking about, big dog? This is a society run by capitalism. You cannot limit someone's earnings. That is
and
un-American. Dude,
you know,
look, look. Look. If I'm an owner of a company, I have a set amount of what you're going to earn. And if you don't like that, there's the door. This is what I'm trying to say is that we're not saying that we're trying to put a cap on their earnings. There needs to be a structure in place because when we first started doing this NIL, it was whoever has the most money pretty much gets the most players, correct? Now they're trying to say we want to make this at least fair enough to across the board. We can limit these 12 and 13 million dollar contracts for a player not even playing one damn down. All I'm saying is this: you can't come in here as a freshman. Okay. You've been at your job 30 years and you make X amount of money, but now we live in a new era to where we're going to allow people coming in off the street with no talent, no nothing, and they're going to make more than you. That ain't going to work.
that's what I was about to go. That was about to say, Coach. So you go on the job interview, and they offering you, let's just say the argument of $15 an hour, okay? And so
Yeah.
you're going to either accept it or move on based
Yeah.
upon your experience. You're going to accept it or you're going to go and move on about your way. I mean, I understand the capitalism thing. That's cool, fine, and dandy. We live in America. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's about what people think you're willing to work, what the people think you are worth, and what they're willing to pay you.
Right.
Because they don't know you from a hole in the ground. They're based off of like your resume. What does your resume say? That's the same thing with high school. They're going off of your resume.
Check this
I
out,
mean,
Dwayne. Check this out, D. Bishop, I'm sorry. I know you have something to say. I want to try to get TP on the same page as me. Okay, TP, let's say me, you, Bishop, and Dwayne, we all go for a job. You have a dollar amount in your head, Dwayne, what you want. Bishop, you got a dollar amount in what you want. I have a dollar amount what I want. TP, you as well. If we all go in there and sell our pitch, and let's say we all get hired, but Dwayne, you make more than Bishop. Bishop, you make more than TP, and I make more than all of y'all. Whose fault is that? That's your fault because you went in there with a number of what you felt like you were worth, and they gave it to you. I went in there with a different number, and I got what I wanted. All we're saying is all these kids are not worth the same. And it ain't that Nagy don't want to pay them. Nagy's not going to fall for the okey doke and just give you money just because you're a 5-star.
exactly.
He said high school 4-star and 5-star are moving on from OU because Nagy won't pay. That's fine. But look, that's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. All I'm saying is there has already been a stigma about NIL from day one. Nagy is the one that's saying, you know what? Y'all got away with that before I got here. We're not doing that no more. We're going to start paying guys off evaluating talent. I'm just trying to say, TP, how can I pay you $5 million off what you did last year, but I'm paying you for this year and you ain't worked not one down for me? How can I pay you $5 million off what you might do?
There you go. I mean, even with that, you got 5 stars that's been out there at Oklahoma that came through. They've been bust. Now what? I mean, what do we even say about that?
Well, the thing about it is, we got an example of that. Remember what happened with David Stone? He didn't, according to what they were thinking, they didn't feel like they got a lot out of him. But you got to remember who was in front of him, and he still was in the rotation.
Right.
So the key is to truly have a foundation or a blueprint to make a decision off of, instead of cutting a young man's money without him even understanding what's all going on. And a lot of stuff, once you give something to someone, you got to make sure they understand when the process is, when you cut something away, that they understand this is the reason you're cutting away. It's not that it's detrimental that you did something wrong. And so what we ended up with is a kid that was, he gave us what we could get, understanding he broke his thumb throughout the season, and he still was in the rotation. That's all you could ever ask of a true freshman.
Okay. They said that I missed a point. They said that I missed a point. They said, no, Coach Riggs, you missed a point. He was trying to say, if your company identified an employee you were willing to pay $7 million, but a third party stepped in and said, no, you can't pay this person. Well, first of all, and everything, guys, I got what you were saying. All I'm saying is, all these players are still thinking that it's like the Wild Wild West a few years ago. It's not.
Correct.
And if y'all keep thinking that it should be that way, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. All I'm saying is, it's not just Oklahoma. Everybody's going to start doing this, because once the revenue share kicks in, you're only going to have an X amount of money to distribute that out to all the players, and you just can't give it. And you just can't give it to one or two players. That's all we're saying. So Nagy is trying to jump to the front of the line and nip it in the bud, so there won't be an issue at Oklahoma. Now, if you guys still feel like these guys are supposed to be getting paid this 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 million, then as an OU fan, you're in for a rude awakening. So you might as well go ahead and start being pissed, because it's not going to be that way no more.
It's not going to happen. I mean, you can't really pay a guy $7 million. You got a whole. No, that's not going to happen. I mean, we have to be realistic about the whole situation. No one player on any team is worth $7 million. That's not going to happen. I mean, even in the job and the work that I do, the job that I do, it's like in the city. This job, a lot of these people that I work with them, know them from past jobs or whatever. And it's like the stuff that you do, people know about. But at the end of the day, you got to be worth what your experience is what gets you paid. And if even that would be said, if you come in with that resume from high school or whatever, they don't know. They're going off of what your resume says. The only way to prove yourself is what you're going to do during
Hands on.
I mean, that's what it is. And in game time, that's the only way that's going to be. That's the only way you're going to do it.
Okay, TP. Let's say you pay these guys this money. You pay these guys these 7 or 8 million or whatever. And they come in and they don't pan out. Are you going to continue to pay the other kids the same amount of money in hopes that they make it, in hopes that they, So I'm not really watching dollars and cents. I'm just saying is that I guess you guys are part of this new generation that y'all think that it's okay to pay somebody all this money off of what they might do. I'm from the old school to where you have to go out there and do this to earn your money, earn your keep.
Right. But see, the thing is, it's a combination of the two, because understand what Nagy is actually trying to do is teach them the NFL way of why we do a base. Because we're going to try to get as close as possible. But then when we have little gates and doors to where you can meet certain goals and you earn what you've been asking for, it's a way that we can still be able to go after your compadres. and bring a nucleus, keep a nucleus around where we can have competitive depth. It's just a different way of thinking where a lot of people, let's say for instance, for LSU, they hurt when they missed out on Bo Bentley, and they missed out on that quarterback from last year. So they were trying to throw as much as they can because they needed that recruit. Versus us, we're already at competitive depth. So now we're just adding the key component pieces necessary to keep the momentum going. There's levels to this, and we got to understand, believe it or not, based off of the nucleus that we have, we actually have been doing it right. But there was a lot of times we were paying top dollar, and we can't pay everybody top dollar. Keep going.
Hey,
Coach Rick, I think TP kind of trolling a little bit.
Well, no, I was gonna say this. I was gonna say this to TP. He said, "Yeah, Coach Ricks, you pocket watching." Okay, I'm pocket watching. If I'm a business now, yes, I'm pocket watching, because if I can go out there and get 21 players for the price of that of money, or get 4 players that are all 5 stars, I'm gonna go get 20 players, because 20 players in my book and everything is better than the 4 or 5 stars. The 4 or 5 stars cannot play all 22 positions.
Right.
So yes, I'm looking at that, but just because you are a 5-star don't mean that you're going to pan out. And I think Zofix had a good point. TP Grill, give me a good reason to pay millions for 5 stars who ride the bench for 2 years, then transfer out. That's what we're saying. Just because you're a 5-star don't mean that you're going to come in and start.
Exactly.
So why pay you all this money to ride the bench and you're not giving me no productivity? That's all we're saying.
If they're not part of the program, or they haven't bought in. And remember, the whole thing is now you can't have any money sitting on the bench as much as possible.
Sooner in Texas, if I hire you to be the budget man to keep us under the dollars and cents and make sure that we don't go in the red, and then you tell me that, well, I want to go out here and get these 4 players, and I believe that they're going to be game changers, but we're going to be in the red for a year or 2, I'm going to tell you no. Because as a business, we cannot live in the red. You guys, you just can't. I don't care how mad y'all get that we don't get the top players. You cannot live in the red, because we're talking about competitive depth. We always hear that from Oklahoma. We always hear this from the coaches. You mean to tell me that the guys that are here right now are here for the money? No. They're here because they know they're up under the best coaches they feel can get them to the next level. That's why they're here. And
David Stone is a good example of that.
And if this does work, which we don't, we're handicapping Nagy, and he ain't even been here a good season. We're handicapping him and saying, well, we don't think it's going to work. How do we know? Now, if this works, guys, and these 3-stars start balling out and we just start killing, you think that it ain't going to get better? That now those 5 stars going to be like, hey, I mean, damn. I mean, I see what Oklahoma's doing, and I want to get on that train, but they can't pay me this, but they can pay me that. You got to realize, guys, you're getting free room and board. You're getting 3 meals a day, and you're getting paid to get a free education, and they're paying you for it. I'm trying to figure out where's the negative in that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I mean, that the NIL is just lanyard, as they call it down here. Extra. It means extra. That's all it is. It means extra.
Hey, I think I don't crack the code. Check this out. Let's say, for instance, let's use Felix Ojo. Now, we know good and well that it didn't need to be 5.1 million for that young man. But understand, let's say, for instance, I got my recruits on my sheet, and I've been I'm Nagy's team, and I got Felix Ojo versus the kid we got out of Colorado. Well, with the kid out of Colorado, I can get two more players plus him for that 5.1 million. That's competitive depth versus I'm going after a player that, believe it or not, he's an excellent player but he's only one person, and that money can only go that far, and it's never going to go down. So the next year, you either got to equivalate or you got to evaluate, and depending on what your makeup is, you're just to still up or down. But the thing is it's always going to be that 5.1 mil for that individual. That gives you an example of what Nagy's team is trying to do, and understand right now, all we're seeing is that people are negative recruiting us. So the players that we thought we were in line for are choosing other people because the other people are throwing a bag at them. And I get that. And that's recruiting. But understand, if we're already in competitive depth mode and we're just trying to add pieces, we got to be okay for right now, knowing that down the way we will get what we want.
Right. And you know, it just is. I mean, this is his first real year of doing this. So I mean, it's just. I mean, the kinks need to be worked out, and you know, this is going to take a little bit of time. I mean, if I know we're Sooner fans, you know, I'm accused of being spoiled too. I mean,
We all are. We all are.
well, you know, I understand that, but at the end of the day, I would rather have this than go back to what were prior to what Brent Venables was. I mean, because we didn't have competitive depth. I mean, we had a few gems, Kenneth Murray, you know, a few other players and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather have now than what we had. I mean, of course, we get all the offensive stars, linemen, and all that, but we wouldn't have had the defense. Now we're getting defense.
Okay. Hold on. Wait, you guys think 3 stars are better than 5? Okay, let's use this for a prime example. Who was the last? Hold on. I got you, D. Who was the last 5-star receiver that we had? Who was the last 5-star receiver? Wasn't it? What's the kid? What's the kid that got busted for the gun and everything?
Oh, Bridges, Trajan Bridges.
5-star. Okay.
I know Haywood was one.
Okay, hold on. 5-star, right? Marvin Mims was a what?
I think it was a 3.
He was a 3.
So you mean tell me that Marvin Mims ain't better than the guy that got kicked off the team? Production wise, we're talking about production. We're not talking about just because you're a 5-star. You got to look. There's a lot of 3 stars out there, guys, that are good, and we've already proven this fact. The reason why there's 3 stars, they can't afford to go to all the camps. They go to the camps and everything, and the right coach don't want them. Exactly. You get a star automatically just for going to a Nick Saban camp, and he likes you. You get a star. All we're saying, guys, is these stars really don't mean shit once you get to college. The stars go away. You got to earn your spot all over again.
Let me throw a name out there. John Jefferson, that was with LSU, was a 3-star. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL now. It's all about somebody doesn't like if he doesn't go to all of these different places to be able to be rated, then he's going to be a 3-star. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have that potential of a 5-star. It's just based on how other people rate people. They haven't seen it to the best of their ability, but understand they're not the only one that has an eye. So we got to understand that we got to trust the process and understand this is the gentleman that has been doing the NFL scouting. So he has a certain criteria, and then he gave us a little glimpse that is based off of Bill Belichick. Well, we already know what Bill Belichick, how New England, all those years, we kept saying, why do they keep getting that person? We don't even know them. Well, they
Yep.
turn out Van Noy was a baller, but he wasn't high on everybody else's board. But on Belichick's, he was.
But Bishop, what we're saying is this: we're just saying that just because you are a 5-star, don't mean that. Only thing a 5-star really means is that you were evaluated at a higher level by other people in the high school circuit to get that star. To get that star, okay, we got that. Let's just put it like this: I went to a lot of these camps. I've seen 3-star talent get overlooked, and they ball the hell out, but they get overlooked because they're not going to the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Oklahomas, the Texas, Tennessee. They're not going there. They're getting overlooked. There's a kid right now, man, in Blase. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, wide receiver. Out of 125 passes, he dropped 2. He's a freaking 2-star because he's going to a low-level school. But he whooped everybody's ass out there on the program at that clinic. He whooped their ass. But he can't afford to go to the camps. He don't want to go to the camps because he's already got his scholarship locked down. I'm just saying, don't let these stars get you guys messed up. These stars don't mean nothing.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. And I love the debate. I love it out the ass because this is what football is. We all talk about it. We're all passionate about it. I love it. But I'm just saying, I know some 3-stars out there that could shut down 5-stars. They don't show you. They don't want it to be known because it looks bad on the 5-star. You mean tell me a 3-star shut your ass down? It makes them look bad. So they don't bring that 3-star back to that camp no more.
Josh Jacobs.
I'm just saying, guys, I've been to these camps. I know behind closed door what goes on. Don't let these 5-stars fool you. A lot of these 5-stars are not 5-stars. They're just 5-stars because they're going to Alabama, they're going to Ohio State, and they need to be in a certain quota of 5-stars. That's it.
There's only 32 of them, Coach.
So that's my bitch. That's my gripe. I'm just saying.
Oh no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, you guys.
I love it. Hey, TP, don't feel like I'm trying to ban you or nothing because I'm never going to do that. I love all this. This is what passionate fans talk about. This is what we talk about. So I'm cool with it.
Cool.
Derek says, how's that 5-star? And we had last year pan out, or Hazelwood, Bridges, and Weeks. I'm just saying, man, is that just because you're a 5-star don't mean we're gonna move on. We're gonna get on to another topic, man, because we'll be on this topic all day. All right. The next topic.
Hey, Coach, before you say that, you know what? I think I know what I want to do after I retire. I think I want to get into a little scouting and a little podcasting when I finally retire. Bro, it's the same. You know what? I think that'll be fun. I'm kind of biased to some of them other Sooner shows that from that Sooner magazine. You know, I kind of question them guys a little bit. You know, I can't really, but I kind of question. But hey, it is what it is. So
yeah.
But I know what my retirement life is going to be. I'm gonna be busy.
All right. Our next topic is why do people feel that John Mateer will resemble Jackson Arnold? I heard that article and I was like,
you got that article? Y'all got
you sent it to me. I was like, what?
I mean, what do we? Man, I don't even know. You know what? Again, they already. Again, they call us the new Nebraska, the new Vanderbilt. Now, I mean, these people are stupid. I mean, why do they even bring up nonsense like that?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I think what it is, man, is that they cannot let John Mateer come in here and do what Diego did for Vanderbilt. That would be bad for the SEC because you cannot give a proven quarterback with an OC to Oklahoma with that defense. I think a lot of people are hoping that this backfires in BB's face. You
They better,
cannot let this work out in OU favor. You cannot let it happen.
they better get ready because everybody's high on Texas. Everybody's high on Texas. You better be ready because guess what? You about to see something you ain't gonna be seeing before. Because guess what?
Ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun.
Hey, Jason, that's a good comment right there. Trent Williams,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the best offensive lineman in the NFL, not just college, not high school, in the NFL, 3-star.
Let me give you another one. Lane Johnson. He wasn't a 5-star. The man started out as a tight end.
Facts.
So I mean, you know.
Yeah. So ATP, hey, I love it, man. Like I said, okay, Mims got a natty, or did a 5-star receiver on another team win a natty?
No, he did. He won one. He did.
All I was saying and everything, man, is that just because you're a 5-star don't mean that. And I know a lot of 5-stars, man, that come in that don't start. They just still ride the bench and they work out, get nutrition, they get bigger and stronger. Then they, by their sophomore year, they ball out.
Yep.
There aren't that many Trevor Lawrences no more to come in and start as a freshman and win it all.
Few and far between, man. Few and between. Them days
And not
are
only that, just think about it. There's only 32, and there's no guarantees that they're going to hit like they've been evaluated to hit.
Can I ask you guys a question? And even the ones in the chat, would you rather have 5 5-stars or 13 4-stars and 1 5-star?
I'll take the latter. I'll take the 13.
I take the latter because I need competitive depth. We already played that game where our players were playing 90% of the snaps. We already seen the deal off of that. So I like competitive depth.
That doesn't work. I mean, that doesn't work. That showed up when we had Lincoln. That showed up bad. It showed up big time. You guys were tired.
Well, we got 5-star that were on offense. We wouldn't get no 5-star on defense.
Nope.
Facts.
We were getting 5-star offensive players that was softer than tissue. And we saw how, I mean, think about it, guys. Kansas don't get 5-stars. They were pushing Oklahoma around Lincoln's last year. Dan Miranda wasn't getting no 5-stars. He was just getting tough physical players in Baylor. They were manhandling Oklahoma. So all I'm saying is that it's okay if you get a 5-star that wants to be here. But if he comes here, he has to understand these are the stipulations that's in place. This is what the X amount of money that you're going to make. If you don't want to make that, then you can't come here. And that's all Jim Nagy is saying.
It is what it is.
I'm just, and like I said, we're not going to get back on that. I want to stay on this John Mateer thing. I think John Mateer has proven that he is 10 times better than Jackson Arnold. Just from the not turning the ball over. We're not talking about passing and running and being a great leader. We're talking about taking care of the football. I believe Jason said 12 turnovers in a season and a half of football play. That's very unacceptable for a quarterback. That the ball is in your hand every single time. The ball is snapped, it's in your hand, and you turn it over 12 times.
Especially at key components of the game when you need them to be on point.
Man, you can't fumble the ball at the 5-yard line at Tennessee, and you can't do that. I mean, even like
the defense just gave it to you, and you gave it right back to him.
I mean, you can't be fumbling the ball. You right there at Missouri, at Missouri 10, and you about to score, and you fumble the ball. Come on, man. What are we even doing? I mean, what are we doing? I think I think his confidence was gone at that point. But I mean, hey, that still doesn't get the fact that coaches can't play for you. You need to do what you need to do. But at the end, I mean, come on, man. No.
Okay, here you go. TP got a question. All right, TP. Question. After you develop a player, will other teams come with more money than OU is willing to pay? Will Nagy match or let what you develop walk out the door? Well, that's what he's saying. He was like, we don't mind paying you, but you have to be reevaluated. And I think the way we did evaluation at the high school level, I can't talk about college, is every year you get reevaluated
Okay.
because you get bigger, faster, and stronger every single year. So if I was in the NIL era and I was getting my players were getting paid, and I would always put in stipulations. If you're a defensive tackle, if you have so many tackles, so many TFLs, you get so many whatever. If you hit that number, yes, I'm going to up your money because you have proven that you are excelling at a higher rate every single year. Yes, everybody looks to get a raise every year on your job when you do your performance.
Exactly.
You want to get a raise every year. Now, if I don't get a raise, now we go back. Okay, what do I got to do in order to get to that next level? Once you give me those guidelines and I meet those guidelines, I expect to be paid. Now, TP, if I don't get paid, we can revisit this conversation, and then we'll be like, okay, I did everything you said I needed to do. Now I need to get compensated for what I did. That's all Nagy is saying, is that we're not going to just give you the money off the back, and then there's no proven growth. There's no proven anything that you've done.
Right. I mean, I agree with that, Coach, because I mean, that was going to be my next question to you. Are they going to get evaluated every year?
Nagy's even said it. He's even said it every year. It's an evaluation for everybody.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and just say let's be honest. Each position has their level. You can't look at a cornerback versus a quarterback. A quarterback is in a higher tier because it's only one that can play. So the thing is I know a lot of people are, let's say, offensive linemen. They're hard to come by nowadays, and everybody is paying top dollar for offensive linemen. It's because it's a premier position. So understand there's levels to this, and that the expectation has to go with the level of the position.
Yeah. Hey, TP, I got a question for you and for everybody here. Let's say that you bring in a 5-star, but you've had 2 3-stars that have been there 3 years, and they've excelled every single year at the highest rate, at the highest level. Would you pay that 5-star more than the 2 3-star that's proven to you that they've done beyond imagine?
Absolutely not.
Would you pay the 5-star just because he's a 5-star, or pay the 2 guys that's been there 2 years as 3-stars that have busted their ass and elevated every year?
Absolutely not. I'm going with the work.
It's a different in opinion, but I love the opinion. Oh, look, this is never going to be ATP. Like I told you before, I love it. I love the debate. I love because it just shows how passionate you are, and we love it. We're just having a friendly conversation, and I'm a person that we can agree to disagree. Doesn't mean that there's going to be any animosity. It's just that we have a different in opinion. That's all.
Yep.
Hey, and this is one place where you get to spit your fire. It's valued here because the open dialogue allow us to grow and get pieces from each other that maybe we weren't thinking of, that now we can put into our narrative and be able to grow together. But the thing is, if we never communicate, allow people to spit their fire, then nobody will know.
Hey, TP, if I ever go to court, I want you to be my lawyer, boy, because your ass is fighting here. Your ass is fighting in here. And I love that, man. Hey, you could be my advocate anytime you want.
I'm telling you. I mean, that's crazy. But I mean, hey, it's the world we're living in right now. We just have to buckle down and get used to what's going to be the standard of college football. That's all.
Yeah. And check this out. To get back on the John chair,
Yes, sir.
where we at right now, just think. We got John Mateer, his OC, and his quarterback coach. When has that ever been done to where when you bring those three,
Hey,
you're
Fred ain't
basically leveling up your offense because the consistency and the experience comes with. And see, oftentimes what people are doing is like, well, Mateer only did that at Washington State. Yeah, but his OC and his quarterback coach came with him. So nothing changes. In fact, he can audible because now he's the teacher, because now he's a coach on the field. What are we talking about? It's actually a secret weapon.
Well, I mean, go ahead. I agree with this. I've heard this before in the past, but Kyle, I really don't know. Watching what I watched from Arch Manning in Louisiana, he was given 2 stars just for his last name.
Man,
Oh,
you know what?
hold on. Welcome to the show, Big Dog Jason Watkins. What's going on, Big Dog?
What's
What's
up,
up,
fella?
Hall of Fame? What's happening?
How we doing? How we doing?
Ra.
Send up here having a little dialogue, a little debate.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Coach, I'm down here in Louisiana. So, I mean, I see all that stuff. It's like Manners is just like an institution down here. I mean, I don't know. I can't call it one way or the other. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I mean, I've seen all the games. I've heard some of the games that he played, and they said he did this, he did that, threw for all these touchdowns. But then again, when we look at the games that he's been in, I mean, he's been in games at the Georgia game, maybe 1 or 2 plays, but then in them blowouts of other teams, he looks like a star against lesser opponents. I mean, you brought that up even with Hall of Fame one time. When he was playing lesser teams, he looked like a superstar. But I mean, the proof in the pudding is going to be when the fire is going on, when the fire gets put under. We really going to see what's going on.
Well, hey, Jason, do you think that the conversation was, why do people feel like John Mateer will resemble Jackson Arnold? There was an article that came out.
Who said that?
It was an article that Dwayne sent me that was from a guy stating that John Mateer it resembles Jackson Arnold.
Well, God help us all then.
Well, I mean, it just shows and everything, man, that people
that tells you there ain't nobody paying damn attention. They want to come up with their own little narratives about whatever the hell's going on. If you don't know by now that this is a different cat, this is the kind of Oklahoma quarterback that we're used to seeing, that when the play breaks down, they get better. If you don't know that already, just by what you've heard out of the spring and watching him go toe-to-toe with this nasty-ass defense and flipping him off as he's going into the end zone and shit like that because he's a competitor, then you don't know football. And that's okay. That's okay. Some people don't. Some people don't know it. Some people will never know it. They're just going to be casual.
They read something, they believe it.
Come on, bro.
They read something, Jason, and that they believe it. And
they want to believe it. This is what the truth is. I think you guys have been saying this already. They want to believe because they do not want the monster that Oklahoma has been in the past in the SEC.
No.
That's where it's at.
That's why they gave them the fucking schedule they gave them for the first 2 years. It's why they gave Texas the freaking cakewalk. And it's the reason that you continue to hear the talking heads all around the conference badmouth OU and talk shit about, you know what? If they really thought that they were that bad, let me just say this. If they really thought that they were that bad and Venables was as trash as everybody acts like he is, then they would shut the hell up and be happy that he was in Norman. Because you know what? Keep his ass forever. Keep his ass forever because we're going to kick their ass forever.
Isn't that what OU fans wanted out of Herman to stay there? We want him to stay there at Texas. Go be keeping their ass.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. Sark hasn't won a big game since the Alabama game, and I don't know that he's really done anything since then either. I mean, seriously, even that game wasn't that big. They weren't the same Alabama that they were at the end of the year.
Not only that, the panel is like, if the SEC didn't want us, we would have never got into the SEC. So that right there is a statement in its own. They never would have took us. So
It's an argument, man, that's gonna always be there. It's an argument that's gonna always be
They
there.
don't want the monster. That's all I'm saying. They do not want that monster unleashed.
If Oklahoma gets this going,
They don't want this smoke.
with the way Nagy has it going, the way that BV has it going, you have to look at it this way, guys. And we can sit here and argue all damn day. What Oklahoma is doing is getting ahead of what everybody else is going to do here in the next few months anyway. Oklahoma is just jumping ahead and getting it out the way.
You know what? This and OU is not the only one doing this, by the way.
Clemson doing it right now. I know for a fact.
Just so you know, this is not the only program in the country that's going by this NFL model, and they're trying to get value instead of just trying to go out there and win every 5-star. Because guess what? You're not, even when you have a great year and you win a bunch of 5-stars. I'm going to say this again. The reason that these guys are 5-stars a lot of times is for one of two reasons. Either they're always at all these camps and they're helping them with their bottom line, which is to get a lot of content out there, to get a lot of clicks out there. If it's either that or it's that these coaches have established that they know how to identify talent better than the guys at On3 and 247 and everywhere else. And so if Nick Saban, Marcus talked about it last night on my show, the Saban effect, when he recruits you, you get a bump. They may not have known who the hell you were, just like Mark Ingram was talking about on that show. Mark Ingram, they didn't know who he was. A 3-star. Nobody gave a shit about him until Nick Saban freaking recruited him and offered him a scholarship. Then he becomes a 4-star.
Yep.
These things are gonna and look, Oklahoma goes out there and wins like this, and guess what? You really, I mean, I put this in the chat a second ago. Nobody's answering any of these things I'm asking. 30,000 kids per year come into college football. 30,000. You really believe that only 32 of them are all that? Come on,
Spit your fire.
Come
Spit
on,
your
man.
fire.
ATP, what I was saying was you were talking about a 5-star. All I said was you can't bring a 5-star in and pay him more than what 2 players that were 3-stars that have been in the program 2 years and they have elevated their talent every single year. That's what Nagy is trying to do, is come in here and put a structure in place to where
There has
this
to
is
be
what
another
you're
way.
going to look. I don't
You're
care.
already not winning the recruiting battles the way that you want to do it. Is we're not doing it like that. We're not doing it well enough to go win the Natty so far. I think that we have a roster that is national championship capable in the next 2 years. I do believe that. But I'm telling you that it has more to do with the fact that they recruit the way they do and it's not just on money. But if you really want to get all these 5-star guys, you have to be willing to pay 5-star prices, just like what he said. Just like what he said. But if you're going to tell me that Jim Nagy doesn't know what he's looking at,
Yeah.
he doesn't know what he's looking at, so he can't look at a 3-star that hasn't been to a bunch of camps, isn't in touch with all these guys, like the Parker Thunes of the world that are running these damn recruiting sites. He's not in touch and doing articles every other day, so he's not a 5-star. He's a 3-star guy because he doesn't go to camps. But he looks at him, he's the same size as the 5-star guy. We talked about this with Foj last year. He's just as big and talented as Michael Fasusi. And it took him getting recruited by OU before he shot up the rankings.
Yeah.
We have to understand that there's more dudes out there like that. And if you can literally get 2 or 3 or 4 of those guys for every one guy, because you can pay 4 dudes what you'll have to pay that one 5-star that you're competing with Texas and Ohio State and Oregon and everybody else. If you can get 4 and build competitive depth, you are better off than getting that one 5-star dude.
Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question.
It's fucking hard.
I got a question for TP. how do you determine who's worth what? But besides all the 5 stars and all that, how do you determine what a player's worth? I mean, because clearly the 5 stars and all that stuff is just it doesn't mean anything. How do you define who is worth what? I mean, because we got a lot of players that were not 5 stars that's clearly made it. Jason showed a few, and we talked about a few. How do you determine who's worth something? I mean, you talking about what was that? He was talking about capitalism. How do you define who's worth what? That's my question to you.
Well, what Jim he has to say what Jim Nagy is trying to do right now. I think Jason, I think Bishop, myself, everybody on here is an advocate for players getting paid. Don't get that twisted. I'm just saying you're not going to get the kind of money that you think that you deserve just because you're a 5-star.
Coach, OU doesn't have the kind of money to get all these 5-star guys. They don't. Newsflash, everybody, we ain't got as much money as Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Right.
And they just buying 5 stars so nobody else will get them.
And now check this out. When Texas A&M did that, did they benefit? Did it make them go to the playoffs?
Absolutely not.
So let's understand. Nobody thought that OKC Thunder had the right format, but Sam Preston followed his hunch, and now they got a championship. It's a matter of, do you trust and do you allow for someone to show their worth? Hey, he just got here. Let's get into the season, and then we'll see what comes of it. But the main thing is we can't have money sit on the sideline. Majority of the major money has to be on the field.
TP, you're saying Jim Nagy's not going to pay that your belief. Why do you believe that? You don't have any idea what he's going to do. He's been here 10 minutes.
We just said that. We ain't had a season yet.
You ain't seen the guy that he's recruited on the field yet.
Man,
what are we talking about? Look, we either got to believe in it and trust in it or we don't. And listen, I'm just going to put it to you this way. You think Oklahoma is going to sit around and watch him fumble and fuck it up?
Nope.
Because they're not.
They'll run him out.
It's just everybody here right now, and everybody in this fan base is just as ready for a national championship in Norman as you are.
Yes.
And if these guys believe me, whether it's Venables, whether it's Jim Nagy, who Venables wanted to bring on, whether or not these guys get it done, if they don't get it done, their ass will be down the road. But if you're not looking for a better way, if you're not looking for another way to add to your talent pool and get better and better, and just like I said last night on the show, if you look at my column, guys, I wrote the column today after what we talked about last night. If you're not looking for a better way to get as many talented players in your damn program as possible, and you're only going to go by what the damn recruiting sites are telling you are the best players, then you're not going to win. You're not going to win like that, because guess what? There's another 10 programs that are already ahead of us when it comes to getting 5 stars.
Yes.
There just are. So if we're only going to be able to win this thing if we get all the 5 stars, then we're fucked.
Well, you're not going to have no money to do anything else.
That's a fact, man. If what we're going to depend on is getting 5-star players, Oklahoma is fucked.
Because we can't get all the 5-star players.
We're not going to get that's a fact of life. I mean, that's just, it is what it is.
Well, see, that's why therein lies the answer, you guys. You got to understand that, we want to get our fair share, but when you don't get them, you cannot lose out and not build for the future. That's all we're trying to say. In order to keep competitive depth,
other dudes that are just good players, but you just don't know who they are, man. That's the point.
That's
the way to go win is to go find the other dudes.
Right.
That you can get those dudes.
I think that's a great comment. Has Texas A&M not taught any of y'all anything?
Thank you, Kyle. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But They had
They
the greatest recruiting class in the history of recruiting
and
classes.
didn't win shit.
And they went fucking 5-7 that year. 4-8 that year. 4-8 that season, that very next season. And he's gone the next year because they won 5 games after that, bro.
And he got paid on top of that too.
Oh, he sure did.
He got paid, and then bankroll all that recruiting thing, and didn't do a thing.
Brother, man.
Hey, TP, Oklahoma has a structure in place to where they evaluate players.
There are people that will pay, but they're not going to throw good money after bad, coach. Is that not right?
Yes, that is correct. I was just getting ready to say yes.
Man.
And if you're scared, look, if I'm a player and I'm scared to get evaluated and see what I'm worth, I don't even need to be there anyway. Because everywhere you go, in the NFL, in college, whatever, you're going to be evaluating and you're going to be pretty much fighting for your job every single day. There's always someone there wanting your spot. And if you're not willing to get out there and earn your spot and earn your keep, you're in the wrong damn sport.
Yep.
You are in the wrong sport. So, TP, that's all I was saying.
Nobody's even
Nagy is going to pay you.
Feel the way he wants to feel. I don't hate on him for it.
No, he's going to pay you, but he's not going to. Okay, I'm not going to buy a car until I test drive it.
There you go.
If I don't test drive it, I ain't buying it. So to go and say, "Hey, coach, it's the greatest, it's the best car," I still got to get behind that wheel and see if I like it or not. I'm not going to buy a car just because you say it's the best car. That's all Nagy's doing, is saying that we're going, and what he's doing is what we should have done from the get-go. The NCAA and the way we structured it is, well, we're just going to start paying players. There should have been guidelines from the get-go, but there was not. So now Oklahoma is doing their due diligence to get ahead of the ball and say, this is the way we're going to do it from now on. And you got pretty much the best guy that can evaluate talent at your disposal.
Facts.
And you're bitching and griping because he feels like you're not worth that, but you're worth this. If I go for a job, guys, and they say, well, hey, what do you want? I'm gonna throw an asinine number out there. They might say, well, Mr. Ricks, we can't give you that, but we can give you this. If I'm not willing to take that, I'll take my ass somewhere else. That's all this is Jim Nagy saying, this is what we feel like you're worth, but this is the potential of what you could make if you hit these guidelines. That's it.
Hey, man, the bottom line, you just got to realize, and first, come on. Riley going to come in here running that mouth as always. Golly. All right. Understand something. It's not that Oklahoma can't pay for 5-star guys. They can.
Oh,
they can, but there's value versus whether or not you should. There's a should or whether you shouldn't. I'm just telling you, listen, you can't just go by and TP, you can't just go by the damn Giants. There's bad franchises in the NFL and there's good ones.
Hey, Zophie, that's a good point. How many years has Texas out-recruited OU? Had the better recruiting class, and OU still had.
Man, it's been going on for decades. It's been going on for decades, and you just said it earlier. Look, Herman was doing it. We loved it. They weren't lacking in talent when Charlie Strong was there either. They still sucked.
There's guys that have been there that we would love to stay there.
Look. Here's the thing, though. If you're going to sit there and tell me they're going to start paying players that ain't worth it, no, that's not what he's trying to do. And I don't think he's sitting there trying to say he's never going to get a 5-star guy either. I don't think that's what he's trying to say. I think what he's getting at is you have to look at the whole picture. And what is the likelihood of you winning a 5-star when you're competing with everybody that you're competing with for that same guy? What's the real? I mean, look, what's the likelihood? How often are you going to beat out Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Texas A&M and Oregon and Michigan? How and Notre Dame is now in the mix for these guys, and Clemson.
Yeah.
And we're probably missing a few there too. How many years in a row are you really going to be able to string together where you get the best players, the best 5 stars, and hoping that you pay all the money that you get, and it's going to cost you a shit ton to do it. But let's just say you're able to do it. Now you got to hope that they're all not busts.
True.
And OU's track record with 5 stars, it ain't great. I can think of 4 or 5 stars that were worth their weight in what they were. The rest of the guys that have been superstars at Oklahoma were not 5 stars.
We were just saying it earlier.
Adrian
Hazelwood.
Peterson, Tommy Harris, Gerald McCoy, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
And Joe Mixon almost didn't get a chance to be that guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
But think about it. Weiss and freaking Hazelwood, waste of time.
Trading Bridges.
Bridges. I mean, listen, a lot of these cats, look at what's happened with that dude is still playing at these little bitty schools now.
He can't make it back up.
I mean, look, I don't think that Rhett Bomar was a true 5-star, and he was probably worth it. He didn't get his ass in trouble and get kicked out of there. Here's the thing, whether or not they would have and here's the other thing. Michael Fasusi hasn't played a snap yet, folks. He hasn't. I know there's a lot of expectations out there, and we're hearing a lot from inside the building. I would pump the brakes on expecting him to be Mr. Superstar left tackle in year 1. That's Jacob's second. That's Jacob's second spot, bro.
What I think Brett Bomar was what he got in trouble with that car dealership.
Yeah, Bomar. Yeah. But I'm just saying, we haven't had a lot of luck with 5-star dudes, man. We just haven't.
You're right. Absolutely.
For everyone that's worked out, we've had 2 that didn't.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: you can go and spend all that money on a 5-star. If you're lucky enough to somehow lie to them and get them to or pay them just enough to get them to be there. But what does Shawty always say? You're going to lose the player to the same damn thing you got him with.
Yeah.
If all
Tennessee.
you're recruiting on is cash, then you're going to lose him to cash. Look at Nico.
Well, this is going to be the day-old conversation that we're going to always have. We're going to always have this conversation about 5 stars, about the 4 stars. If you can evaluate,
what I want everybody to understand is that these are not all true evaluations, man.
no,
They're not. And I would rather have a scouting department that has as much experience as this scouting department has tell me who the best players are, or at least the guys that are on par with these other guys, and see how it goes and see how many of those we can get, because we can beat out the G5s and the smaller P4 teams for anybody. It's going to be a crapshoot whether you beat out the other best programs in the country for a 5-star every year. It's going to be that way. And even the top 4 stars, you got to go find value where you can get it, guys. Because this is to win a natty is about depth. Believe it. Especially the more games they add to the end of it, it's going to be about more depth. You better have as many guys as possible at all these positions, man.
Hey, here's a question for you, Jason. I don't know, but what y'all think is going to be the reason we blow out Michigan, defense or offense? I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think that we'll win, I say about 10 points or less. What do you think?
I think it could go either way. I think Oklahoma could win by 21. I think it could be a 10-point game. I think it could be a 3-point game. But I honestly believe it's going to depend on what our offense, how well are they clicking. If they're clicking very well, now listen, don't get it twisted and think that Michigan
Defense.
That Michigan defense ain't for real, because it is. That's what they're built on. And they're nasty in the trenches. It's going to be tough to run the ball on them, which is going to mean it's going to get tough to throw it too.
Yeah.
So You're going to have to establish something. Now, if you can get it going and find a way to listen, I think what you have to do is try to turn them over and score off of those turnovers. If you do that, if you can force them into mistakes, which you should be able to do with a brand new quarterback, then you should have an opportunity to get way out ahead of them, especially being at home. You could take the air out of their sails immediately. But if you allow it to be close for very long, it'll probably stay close the whole way.
Okay. Dwayne, what you think?
Yeah, I agree with Hall of Fame on that. I think it's not going to be a blowout. It's probably be 10 and under. I think. I seen more of a Ohio State defense than I have Michigan, but I mean I did see that national championship game they played, and their defense was pretty stout. So it's going to be an interesting game. I tell you what, but they're going to have to be on their P's and Q's when they're playing.
What you need to do is just get some. You got to get some turnovers. Got to force some turnovers, man.
Well, you can't turn the ball over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Turnovers has been the one thing, and that's when I was talking about the John Mateer and the Jackson Arnold comparison. The one thing that Jackson Arnold did was turn the ball over too many times.
Oh, yeah, he had 12 fumbles, not just 12 turnovers. He had 12 fumbles in 13 games and 6 interceptions.
So if Mateer takes care of the ball,
all those fumbles and stuff happen at the worst possible time.
Oh no, bro! They're never good. They're never good.
Even I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I know, bro. I think about the Missouri one all the time. It just drives me insane. He's running all by himself and boots that fucker off his knee, man. Next thing you know, it's 6 the other way. You're like, what the fuck? 2 minutes left. We're up 7 and we lose in regulation. This is a bad thing.
Once Billy picked that ball up and ran it back in, I thought it was over. At scoop and score, I thought it was over. And we turned around and get the ball. They just marched the ball right down the damn field and just score. So, but I don't think that they're going to – I think this defense this year, man, nobody's really taking a good look at the back four. We keep talking about the front 7.
Well, they've got something to prove a little bit. And yeah. I think Robert Spears Jennings is gonna shore a lot. But listen, I think that the young guys that we're about to see, Hoganowski, Powers,
Powers
Jaden,
mainly.
Well, and even what's his name? Jaden, what's his name?
You talking about Jaden Hardy.
Yes, Jaden Hardy. They're talking a lot about him lately that he's about to hit it up like that. I'm telling you guys, these cats are that defense is hungry. And if Gentry is indeed ready to go full speed,
game changer.
Lord. And the good news is you should get so much pressure off these cats.
Yeah.
You should get so much pressure off the front, even the front 7 total. But I'm just saying, just off of the defensive line, you should find if they double team anybody, the interior can get them. If they double team on the interior, you're going to turn those monsters loose from the outside. Good luck with that. Have fun, because they're going to make sure that they're going to have to get rid of the football. They're going to be in max protect a lot. I would tell you that most of the teams that they end up playing against at some point,
they got you. They got you, Jason. But that helps the backfield, because now you're not sending that many wide receivers out. You're having to keep guys in to help the block.
Well, there you go. And even then you start doing that again, you've got that 5-man front, four-man front at least, depends on how they do. If they do a 5-2-4 or whatever, or a lot of 4-3 action and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, I think that there are guys you've got. I mean, hell, they all want their time. Danny Okoye gets his moments. He's going to be in there. They're going to have to give him third downs and things like that. They're going to have to give him some time. PJ, I'm hoping that PJ feels better this year, because he was getting ready to blow up.
Yeah.
And then, with Marvin Jones, I feel like Marvin Jones has got it's kind of his last opportunity to have a coming out party. And this is, you're talking about a 5-star guy. There's a 5-star talent that hasn't lived up to his 5-star status yet. But he started to look like he was going to last year, but they were just bad at Florida State. And by the way, are you guys hearing about all this shit with Florida State?
I know. Yeah.
Bro.
Man, look, it's getting crazy now.
The way they're recruited, the stuff they're trying to stick in these contracts.
Yes.
I'm a little worried about our boy Jaden.
Yeah.
No, what they were talking about?
I'll drop that link
Yeah.
in there for you guys. I'll drop
Yeah.
that link and
You gotta read the link. I don't want to
you
talk
gotta
about
read
it.
this.
You gotta.
It is
Well, I know you
insanity.
can talk about it, Coach.
If it's real, I'm gonna tell you now.
It's a
This
shit
is
show.
wild. Let me grab that link and I'll drop it in there for you guys. But it's right there on Mark Ingram is the one that shredded them up. But if it's real, ooh lordy.
Yeah, there it is. Jackson Arnold, 12 fumbles, 6 interceptions.
That's right. That's what I've been saying.
In 13 games. 13 games. That's what he did.
Ooh, I think it went in. Yeah, I did. Well, it did on mine. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, so you'll have to go into mine to do it. I don't know if it'll pop into coaches or not.
All right. If you send it to me, it should pop in.
It's in the chat, so it should. Maybe it'll go into yours.
Let me go down.
But sometimes your chat, you may have it restricted, so I can't put. You can only put links in your own usually.
Okay.
Let me see.
So-
yeah, it won't let me.
No, well, from the regular chat, not from StreamYard.
All right. Let me go in here and do it.
Let me check it here. I should be able to find it.
I got it.
There we go. Yeah, it's in there. It's in there in regular YouTube on my side.
I'll look at it.
It's definitely in there on my side. I can get to it from there.
All right.
So if you haven't already come over to both streams, make sure you hit the like on both streams, anyways, and you can get it in there as well. But I'll send it to you on the private, and you can put it in yours. Coach.
All right.
It's on the
Appreciate it.
private chat. There you go.
All right. Let me put it in private. There it is. All right, let's bring this up.
No, not yet. He's not. Don't start putting words into nobody's mouth over here yet. Don't do that, Sooner for Life. Come on, bro. Don't be hating on my guy. No, I'm hoping that everything's going to work out good. But I'll tell you this much: you think they're not going to hold on? They'll end up losing not just him; they'll lose the whole damn class. If what they're saying in this article is true, they'll lose the whole freaking class.
Man, come on.
It's insanity. It is insanity. Mark Ingram looked at it, he goes, I'd be running. I would be running. I'm just busting
let's
your
see.
chops. You know that, Sooners.
Let's see what this is.
I'm just busting your chops.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, it's a scary deal, though. It's a scary deal. I would be afraid.
I'm just going to watch it off.
Yeah, that's
watch it off.
Yeah, there's it's a report. It's a report, so you can read it. I'll read a couple of the things real quick and just kind of let you know what the biggest thing is. Okay, so the first thing they're talking about, one clause CBS Sports has seen a copy of allows the team to extend a player at the end of their contract unilaterally without having to negotiate with the player. So let's say a kid comes in as a 3-star, he's valued as a 3-star, and he's going for a year, but they're able to just extend that contract without doing anything, without him saying okay, and they don't even have to negotiate with him. Okay. Another section on team rules, common in most NIL or rev share deals, includes a maximum $2,500 fine on the first offense if a player loses team equipment such as a pair of cleats. The max fine for using a controlled substance for the first time is $1,000. There's another clause about things that would constitute a breach of contract. Among them is illness or injury, which is serious enough to affect the value of rights granted to the school. The way it's written, Florida allows Florida State to renegotiate or even cancel a player's contract at its discretion after any sort of injury. Among other potential liquidated damages provisions included as part of the contract, including those that happen on the football field. So that would completely go against what they just lined out with the House settlement. So that, just so you understand, that one would go completely against the House settlement. I don't know where they feel like they can do that. Florida State is including these clauses to protect itself from any unforeseen threats in the revenue sharing era. After all, plenty of loopholes and unexpected issues related to NIL emerged during the past few years. Some people believe Florida State's attempt to get any of the future issues might hurt the program's chances to land highly touted prospects. No shit. On a recent episode of the Triple Option podcast, Mark Ingram questioned Florida State's reported contracts. Players are not going to go there. For one, this contract gives Florida State the way too much control over your future and your money. It exposes you to risk, injury, discipline, loss of leverage, all that. So if you're a top player and you got Florida State on your list and they give you this, I'm sure there's another university that's going to give you better conditions and treat you like a partner, not an asset. Man, I don't know how much of this is. I mean, a lot of this supposedly was coming from CBS.
Yeah, I saw it. It was from CBS. They said it was on there.
I'm just saying that more to come. More to come. That's kind of one of the things that didn't really get talked about really loud. I'm just telling you right now, if
they won't get players,
they're going to have to back right down on that. For some of that stuff, you can't do that legally anyway. It's not going to be legally binding. You can't do that to them.
You can't predict me getting hurt. You can't. That's something that that's like if you have insurance and then you tell me that, well, since you got hurt, I'm not going to cover you.
This is just what TP. Here's where you're right. Schools are going to start coming up with ways to exploit these players and screw them out of their money. That's exactly right. And this is why you need a CBA, folks.
What we were saying, this is what you need, structure in place.
This is why you have to have a real
people. Yeah.
You got to have I know not everybody loves unions. I'm going to tell you now, unless you get a collectively bargained contract with these kids, you will never see true, meaningful change in college football that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
You never will.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm part of one, and I'll leave it at that. But
TP, you ain't been right all night. You ain't been right all night. I don't want to hear that shit.
It was the first. It was your first, bro. It was your first. All right, man. I love you guys, but I got to split.
All right, man. Have a good one, big dog. Have a good one. Thanks for coming on, bud.
We'll see y'all later, man.
All right, man. Oh, yeah. Where did Barry Bishop go? Hey, TP. I'm all for a union, but that's the same thing we were saying. There has to be some type of structure in place. Yeah, buddy, you can laugh all you want to, you little shit. I'm just saying there has to be some structure in place, and this is the main reason why. There needs to be something implemented to where colleges and universities can't pull this kind of shit. Because if you have me sign something that I'm going to get paid this, you can't come back on the back end and say, well, I know I said this, but I know I said that, but I'm going to change it. Then that will be a breach of contract. So, oh yeah, hey man, I'm a union guy too, man. I'm all about unions. Some people don't like it. Sometimes a union can be pain ass, but definitely need a union or something in place that can protect these players. Look, I knew eventually, Dwayne, that these universities was going to start pulling some shenanigans when they started to pay this money and they had no say so. It was just a matter of time.
They got to protect themselves. And I mean, hey, I understand. I get it. But at the end of the day, I mean, and then on top of that, they're going to be wanting to bring lawyers in too.
Yes.
They're going to want to bring lawyers in.
And it's okay. Look, at the end of the day, Dwayne, when you look at it, all seriousness, being a former player, being a former coach, having my daughters in this situation, I tell people every single day, educate yourself on this. Don't just go in there and say, ooh, they want to offer me all this money. Read the guidelines, read the paragraphs, read everything, man, because you don't know what you're signing. You think a company's going to give you all these millions and it's not going to benefit them in some way, some shape or form? You full of shit. Protect yourself at all times, man, because these universities have made billions off you over all these years. Now they're having to give you a piece of the pie. They're going to still try some kind of loopholes to benefit on the back end without you knowing.
Exactly.
So hey, legend, I would, man, but we're about to get off here in a few minutes, man. I gotta get ready to go in here and get with the wife and watch another movie. We're watching some movies. Hey, man, look, hey, she gives me my Saturdays, man. I gotta give her the Sundays.
Hey, I respect it. Look, I understand that. I totally understand it. My wife should be watching them shows on Sunday. I can't do it. I can't do it, Coach. I can't do it. I mean, the Real Housewives, I can't do it. I can't do it. No.
Hey, man, I mean, it's all fun, man. Like I said, I think being married 25 years and everything, man, I've learned to just, it is what it is. It don't bother me none.
Coach, look. The
Yes,
only
sir.
thing I got to push back on that, Coach. The only thing I just want my man cave back. That's it. Anything else, I'm good with. But I got to get my man cave back.
Hey.
And that truck is going to look real nice.
Hey, my man cave. I got my man cave set up the way I want to. So
Man,
trust me.
Man, look, I can't even. I'm ashamed, Coach. I got so much stuff, and I can't do it. I'm just gonna get it together. One day I'm gonna get it. But
Man, you
all
good,
right, Coach.
man. You good,
Man,
man.
you
Hey,
gonna be back on Thursday?
yes, sir, man. Thursday's conversation, man. Like I said, Jimmy, if you in the lobby or check this out, TP. If you want to jump on the podcast, man, jump on in. Hey, man, tonight I love the debate. I love the passion you had tonight, man. That's what we want here on the Coaches Talk, man. Look, it's all love. There's no disrespect. There's no hate. I just love a great dialogue, man, so we can go back and forth. And as you saw, it ended with love. It started with love. It's going to always be love.
Man, I love this. I really do love it. I'm glad you all have me come on. I love this, Coach. I really do.
Oh, man, you always welcome, man. You always welcome. I'm going to always send you a link.
Man, y'all got me thinking about ideas that I want to do, man. The shows, man. It's just time, bro. It's just
hey, as a coach, man, this is the passion. This is what I love to do, man. I'd rather do this than to get into a room with a bunch of coaches and talk about officiating, crap, and all that. This is where it all starts because you have fans from all over the world, man. Different dialect, different feelings, different love. And like TP tonight, he spit his fire. He stood his ground. We stood our ground. Hey, at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No disrespect.
None.
So yes, 7 more Saturdays, and it's time to go. So that first game, Dwayne, me, you, Bishop, and I think Mike.
Watching.
ATP, you just send me your email address, Big Dog, and I'll send you the link, and you'll be on here Thursday with me, Bishop, and Dwayne. Man, you'll be on here with us. So just send me your link, send me your private email in the private chat. I'll get it, and then I'll add you to the link.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna hook up down there in Texas. Lord say the same. I'm gonna be down there for the Auburn Oklahoma game. Lord say the same. My son able to get us down there, so I'm gonna be down there. So I've always wanted to see him. So it is what it is.
All right.
But
It's Charles said.
I'll see you Thursday, Coach. Lord say the same. Horns down.
All right, horns down, Big Dog. Man, I'll see you, man, Thursday, Big Dog, man. Have a good day and stay safe.
You too, brother. God bless you. All right, chat, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Good night for y'all.
All right, man. That's my boy Dwayne, man. You can catch him here with us, man, on Thursday nights, man, or Sunday nights. Hey, guys, I love that we got 66 people in the room, man. We got a lot more on Facebook, a lot more on Twitter. This page is going better than I thought it ever could with me and Bishop and everything who disappeared on me. Bishop, you in the chat, man. What happened to you, Big Dog? Other than that, Jimmy, you said that you want to stay in the chat for right now, but you'll let me know when you want to get on. Hey, anybody's welcome. If you want to jump on, send me a private chat to my email, which I always have on here. Let me put it in the links for you guys. 101 at Gmail. You can send me a link, man. I'll send you an email, and I'll always let you guys get on the show and everything, man, and spit your fire, man. Like I said, it's all love. As long as you come on here, man, be respectful for everyone else and everything, man, you can always come on the show. Until then, man, you guys have a wonderful, please hit the like button. Hey, I appreciate it, TP. Again, hey, stand on your business, stand on your square. Don't let nobody change your mind. I really love the dialogue tonight, man. You really brought it. And let's not forget, man, Oklahoma is heading in the right direction with Jim Nagy. You guys just jump on the bandwagon, man. I believe that he's really doing it the right way. it might seem different right now. It might seem like it's not working. Give the young man a year first before we start throwing him up under the bus. Let's see if his way of evaluating talent and getting them paid works. If it does, then we can always reevaluate it earlier. What's this? Charles says, I'm underrated, coach. Okay. All right. Let me close this out. All right. Get up out of here, guys. You guys have a wonderful night, man. Coach Rick's out. I'll see you guys Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, man. Until then, horns down. You guys have a good night. Peace out.
Money, me making good, my money need a loan. I'm just getting money, I'm just getting money. Me making good, my money need a loan. I'm just getting money, I'm just getting money.